Roman. Good afternoon, everyone. It's 4 p.m. on the 18th of November, and I'll call to order the Golf Committee of the town of Harwich. Thank you all for your presence. And let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, if we can. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have advertised locally the annual public hearing on rates and fees for the 2026 golf season. And so it is in order for us to have a motion to go into the public hearing portion of our meeting. And we will hear after that from the Director of Golf on his recommendations, and then any public comment and any discussion from the public, and then we will conclude the public hearing and go to our regular meeting. So it's in order for a motion to be made to go into the public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
I'll motion.
So moved by Karen Doucette. Is it seconded by Jay Adams? Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The public hearing is approved on a unanimous vote. We will begin now, and I'll turn it over to our Director of Golf, Roman Greer, to present rates and fees recommendations for the 2026 season.
Great, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The rate and fee recommendation I'm going to present today is exactly what I presented at the Golf Committee last month, so no changes there, but for the sake of the public hearing, I'll just go over it quickly. So the recommendation this year, we've been following an every other year model, and this year historically would be the year we look at the annual passes to generate revenue required to cover our requested budget increases. Last year we adjusted our we adjusted greens fees, range fees, and non-resident annual passes. And this year I looked at the annual passes to generate revenue required, and normally this would be a year that we would look at car rates as well. But I chose to keep the car rates out of it this year. I think car rates are at a good position, and I think we can generate the revenue we need to without addressing car rates. So what my recommendation is as far as annual passes go, to increase the non-resident annual pass by $100, which would get up to $1,460. The Harwich resident annual pass by $50, which would get that to $960. The young adult annual pass by $40 to get it to $650, and the collegiate by $25 to get it up to $325. Now I did put a rationale in there as well that I won't go over right away, but the potential financial impact of these rate increases is $75,000, which is right around what I anticipate that our FY27 budget request will be. And it's a simple recommendation, so there's not much else to go into unless anybody has any questions. Those are the only rate increases that I'm recommending.
Okay. Do we have any questions first from members of the committee? That's anything that's come up since it was last presented to us, and just for the benefit of those who will see this, or for the public, this is not the decision-making body on this matter. This is a proposal which we're discussing and which we will have further discussion on in our meeting, our regular meeting, but it's something that will be forwarded to the selectmen, and the selectmen will make the decision because as the guardians of the town budget, it's their responsibility, and the golf course, of course, is a municipal course. So we're not making any final decision here. What we are doing is reflecting on the presentation which was presented to us initially at our last golf committee meeting, a chance to think it through, and now the public presentation as well. Without further ado, I would ask Jack, I think you were interested in maybe making some comments to the Harwich Golf Committee. Jack is a former member of our golf committee, gave many, many years to the golf committee, and we appreciate his service at that time, and he's very active at the course as well. He knows the course well. So Jack, the floor is yours.
Thanks.
Just get the other mic.
I think back in September, on behalf of the Men's Golf Association and the Women's Golf Association, we had sent a letter to Roman, Paul, and the select board liaison to the golf committee. And basically the gist of the letter was, we were looking, is it possible to achieve some kind of discounting on the cart fees? If you look at a typical golf course, if you play 40 times a year, which isn't a lot, the sweeps we hold, which is a tournament that we hold weekly, we play 30 times a year. You're gonna spend as much on cart fees as you do on a golf membership. And as the population grows older, and I'm not aware completely of the demographics of the golf course, but there's a lot of old people over there, myself included. And so it becomes, the more you play, potentially the more it will cost you. It's not like everyone walks. So we sent the letter out, and I don't think I've ever received anything back as to yes, no. Maybe the assumption is no, but I just wanted to try to get a feel for, one other thing. I think last week or the last golf committee meeting, you mentioned that, and I don't think it was final, but you mentioned there was a possibility that you would just renew the lease on the existing carts. And obviously, I'm not privy to the financial aspect of it, but if, my assumption is if you're renewing existing carts, then you might get a lower rate. And then this might be an opportunity where you can, lower or consider lowering some of the rates for the golf carts. And I think I mentioned both Brewster and Dennis do discount their cart fees for they call them members, it'd be equivalent to our annual pass holders. So I was just trying to get a feel for, is that beyond consideration, or just shut up and go home? Well,
Well, it's never that.
it's never that.
No, and I think we've, in the course of your preparation for us, I think you did a comparison of the adjacent municipalities or whatever, and some of them have more than one course, for example, and they can generate more revenue. It's an issue of our approaching this so that we can generate the revenue needed to cover our additional expenses, right?
Right. Yeah, I did read your letter thoughtfully. I thought it was well written, and it's a good consideration to give. But what I tried to do was, in general, I'm trying to keep the annual pass fees as low as possible, just for the basic annual pass, and then the actual carts. I mean, they have a cost to them. Comparing to golf courses, we have definitely the most expensive cart fleet. There's a lot of benefits to that. We have a cart fleet that has lithium battery golf carts, and it's very operationally important to us because it allows them to recharge quickly instead of, they don't need a whole cycle. We're such a busy golf course. A lot of times the golf carts go out in the morning, and they need an hour or so of charging in the afternoon, and they go back out in the afternoon again. So there's a lot of benefits to those carts. Another benefit is they're 30% lighter than gas and lead acid battery golf carts. So on days when we have rainy days or rainy conditions, it allows us to allow the golf carts to go out and roam a little bit more. We also, because of that, we give more access to the golf course. Whereas we decided not to ask anybody for medical considerations. If you ask, if you're the healthiest person in the world and you ask for player with disability access to the golf course, we give it. We don't ask for any documentation to get what used to be a handicap flag. So there's a lot of benefits to these expensive golf carts. They have GPS in them. So I think your letter, Jack, the one thing I did when I read and evaluated it, I didn't want to consider like reducing the cart rates, but then subsidizing that or making up the money by raising the general annual pass one to keep that low as well. So, but I did put that consideration into my recommendation, and whereas this would be a cycle where we would normally every other year go up in the cart rates, I chose not to go up in the cart rates with my recommendation. As Paul mentioned, no, I'm not the final, or we're not the final word on that. The select board will decide on that. But I chose to go in that route instead of reducing. I don't think it makes any sense in this environment really to reduce rates. Every single service and product we purchase is getting more and more expensive. And yeah, I can't really comment on the car lease going forward because what we are pursuing right now is a 3-year extension that'll include probably what we're talking about right now is the 3rd year to be nixed on it and have a new car fleet come in. So and then so there may be some discounts available in the new car lease, but we haven't even negotiated that yet. So I can't even really comment to what that will be at this point. But in reading your letter, I did choose to address it by making the revenue need, by accomplishing our revenue needs without increasing car rates for this year. When this would be a normal cycle where we would increase them.
But the arguments, some of the arguments you're making, Roman, saying you can do more, you can send them out twice a day, just says you get better utilization of the existing carts. And it sort of makes the case of, okay, if you get better utilization of the existing carts, why not lower the price?
Well, I mean, I guess I was making the case for what the benefits we have for having the most expensive cart fleet, which we do. We have the most expensive cart fleet on the Cape. It's not a straight up lease where we're just, the more we send them out, we get all the revenue on that. It's a revenue share agreement. So when they go back out again a second time a day or whatever, you know, there's a portion of that revenue that we keep in house. And I really don't think a recommendation to reduce rates would go into the select board would fly. And so, you know, I want to make a recommendation that would suit what I'm getting, the information I'm getting from the select board and from the town administrator, which is everything I'm hearing from them is very revenue sensitive. You know, they consider our revenue local receipts.
Yeah.
So it's very hot topic where they're trying to really budget for local receipts tighter than in the past because the local receipts that come in above what's forecasted turns into free cash, and they're really focusing on nailing that number down, making that a really specific number. So,
How about if you did would be considered like an age cutoff, like I don't know if you're 75 or older or whatever, you get a discounted rate because more than likely those are the people that really need to take a cart. They don't have an option to walk. I don't know what the right age is,
well,
honestly. I'm just.
I mean, so my take on it, and you know, feel free to come up with whatever you would like. It's an option to my recommendation, but in my recommendation, I really tried to keep the basic annual pass low, and
Yeah.
we are the lowest annual pass, but by a good amount too. And of course, you're comparing to they're paying double what our annual pass holders are
Yeah, we
paying.
agree with that. That's a
So
good rate.
I wanted to keep that rate very low, and then
Yeah.
that's a user fee. So we consider the cart a user fee. I know many people do need them, but it is a user fee. And so I think if you're budgeting for your golfing season, yeah, you may have to. It's the math you brought up, Jack. You may have to budget a half, you know, or double your payment. That $960 would be your resident rate, and then you may need to spend almost that same number on carts. But that still gets in at $1,800. If that was the math, then I think it's still a very fair resident rate for golf.
Yeah,
Yeah, it seems to be, yeah.
I totally agree on the resident rate, but I'd also offer, Roman, that for the people that are taking carts, and, you know, knock on wood, I can still walk, a $50 increase in the annual pass holder rate, if you play 40 times a year, which isn't necessarily a lot considering you're open probably 40 weeks a year, $1 or $2 discount on the carts matches that, offsets that increase in the annual pass holder rate. So all I'm saying is, you know, there's trade-offs. You want the lowest rate, or do you want You know, carts are I guess carts are is not a fixed fee, it's a variable fee for a golfer or an annual pass holder. Carts are based on the number of times you play. The more you play, the more expensive it is to play at Cranberry Valley. And all I'm saying is, you know, maybe there's an option to bump, even if you went up $100 for the annual pass holder fee, it's still lower than any other courses in the area, but if you offset that increase with a lower cart rate, you might achieve the same economic results. So that's all I'm saying, is you're having the lowest rate is great, but if you're using a cart, and I don't know, obviously can't give you any statistics on how many people, but there's a lot of, in the sweeps league, which we hold every Wednesday, I'd say more than half of the people are taking carts now. So there's a significant number of people using carts on a regular basis.
Right, no.
So anything you know, 10 carts for the price of 9 carts, 10 carts for the price of 8 carts, anything that would be volume sensitive for the cart usage, if you could provide some discount for that, might help. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe even like doing the balls, like if you, cause I mean, people who drive carts, they know, like, even if you said, I guess, get a discount on a 20 cart card or something like that,
Yeah.
but you guys would get the money up front, maybe that helps, instead of getting it little by little all year. There's various ways you can slice and dice this thing to try and make it appealing.
But I think we'd have to
to
do
that.
some research on that.
I still think that, you know, I think a lot of people don't take carts because of the price, and then because, so I think that's why, that's really my thought behind keeping
it
the
what it is.
general annual pass low, and then you have, I mean, the carts are user fees, so if many people do need to take them, many people choose to take them. So I stand by where we are as far as cart rate goes. I mean, I think we're in a good position for it. Anything that discounts it, again, we're in a revenue share, so, you know, we'd really be cutting into our revenue big time, because we're currently, the company, we only get 60% of the revenue currently on the carts we rent out, and so, you know, I think, I believe in the method of keep the annual pass as low as you can, and then, you know, I did put some consideration, like I said, into it, and I chose not to address
Yeah.
the cart rates with any increase. I don't think that in the environment where that we're in, all the information I'm getting, it would make sense to go to the select board and say we're reducing a rate. So I'll stand by that, but I mean, the committee can feel free to.
Do you see it as a financial hardship for elderly golfers? Is this causing them to golf less, or they can't afford it?
You know, that's I can't say. I just know that a common theme I hear from the sweeps players is it's expensive to rent carts every week.
Do we charge we charge the same cart fee for residents and
Yeah.
non-residents?
26 for non-residents,
It's
24
$2.
for resident, for
$2.
annual pass holders.
So there's a discount now.
$2 discount, yeah.
What is the discount in the captains and?
Roostering, it's in the 25%. I think it's, I didn't bring my,
That's okay,
it's
ballpark.
probably, I think it's 18 at Dennis, and I think it's 20 at captains
Okay.
for, they call them members, but they're annual pass holders, I guess. So
And
it's
I
I think
don't
it's
know.
18 at Dennis and 20 at captains.
I haven't played it, of course, so I'm not sure the level of their carts at this point. I don't know if they've changed them, if they're equivalent to
I
ours.
think Dennis is getting ready, because they've reached out to me for,
Still gas.
yeah, Captain's has electric carts, but
Yeah.
they're not
But
the
they're-
quality of ours.
They're not
And,
as nice as ours.
And Dennis is still using gas carts, I believe, because
Mhm.
they've been reaching out to me for specs on cart barns, things like that. So, I mean, like I said, we do have the best cart fleet, but it's also expensive. We have the most expensive cart fleet. And, you know, I don't know if it makes sense for us to, I mean, I really feel strongly that we have the best golf course of the munis on Cape. And I don't think it makes sense for us to necessarily have to be the cheapest or the least expensive in every category. We are the least expensive in annual passes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to be sensitive if it really is affecting our elderly golfers and they can't
Is it a
afford it.
barrier to entry?
I just
That's
want to
the
be,
question.
right, a barrier to
Yeah.
entry. I'd want to be
Sure.
sensitive to that.
Right.
I mean,
That-
it
that's
sure
a-
adds up.
That's impossible for me to tell anyway.
I think we'd have to do some more work, but I mean, I think we have to be careful not to jeopardize what revenue we anticipate for the coming year.
Could we model this though? Could we,
Yeah.
do you have, I mean, you
I
have
mean,
statistics.
Roman, do you anticipate a revenue sharing agreement with the new lease, or do you
I
expect to
mean-
do it differently?
The town finance directors have all been, they've enjoyed this revenue share agreement we have. I think we could cut costs a little bit by having a straight lease, but you know, they keep pointing to like the pandemic year, how we benefited by not having to pay a monthly lease on the
Yeah.
golf carts when we couldn't have them out and such. So I think I'm not really sure. I think we're saying there's a new finance director. I could tackle that question with the new finance director, but finance directors in the past have enjoyed the fact that strictly the carts strictly hit our books as revenue. There's no expense for them.
So we maximized our revenue by having the sharing as opposed to leasing.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
they enjoy not having the
Well, yeah.
a lease payment in our budget. That would
Right.
require our budget to go up $100 and something thousand.
To me, it does make some sense though, to run a model to compare where we are now, basis what, if I can say what Jack has suggested, to see where these numbers actually come out. Because if you go to the select board and say, we wanna reduce the cart fees, but we're going to make that money up by doing a decrease in fee, an annual fee, just to get that balance.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much it's gonna be. Is it 50? Is it 5? Is it 10? I'd love to know that number to make a better informed decision. That's all my point is.
Yeah, but I think we'll have to do some more research going
Yes.
forward. So I
Same
think,
thing, same
I think
thing.
for this year, we need to proceed because we need to make a recommendation and one way or the other to the Board of Selectmen and let them decide, but we can certainly bring this to their attention.
Yeah, this might not be for everybody, but do you think people use a card out of convenience or need? It's one or the other.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, but what I noticed in
Definitely.
playing is that you see a lot of push carts on the 10th tee, and people will take a cart for the back nine.
Yep.
And that's an option for those that are able or prefer it. And but convenience or need is the question I have, and it's personal, of course, but
I mean, I took a card all year because I had like a knee issue that I'm getting fixed next week, but, I mean,
Mhm.
there's a lot of people have to do it. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of the
Agreed.
people that are taking them are generally have to because of an injury or they're just can't do it when, you know, it's 95 and humid.
yeah.
I personally, I think so many people are price sensitive just on the annual pass alone. So I hate to subsidize it. Some people need to pick carts, so we're gonna raise the annual pass to subsidize cart fees or cart usage for people that need them. But I'd rather keep it low and have it be a user fee. If you need to take it, then, you know, budget correctly, but your entry level fee is still as low as it can be.
Okay.
I'm leaning your way, honestly. It's just, I would love to see what the numbers do. That's all.
I'm not sure what numbers, I mean, so we do, I mean, I can give you some very broad numbers. We do 20,000 cart rounds a year, and that's broken down over all the categories of it's more like, I mean, it really averages out to 19,600. It's amazingly.
18 hole?
No, just all carts total. And then those are split almost dead even between annual pass holders and public, and with the majority of annual pass holder rounds just being 9-hole carts. And it is I think 15. We had 1,500. I'm sorry, pulling numbers out of time. 1,500 9-hole non-annual pass holder cards and like 6,000 9-hole pass holder cards, and the remainder was pretty evenly split
And what's the total number of rounds played?
44,000.
It's a good start.
That's quite a number. Do you think raising the non-pass holder card fees and decreasing the pass holders is an option?
You know, I'm kind of price sensitive right now with, because we're currently in a revenue sharing lease agreement, and that's all based on what the rates were and what they're going for. I think the committee should feel free to decide what you want to decide. I'm going to stick with the recommendation that I
Yeah.
put forward for now.
If there was a barrier to entry for golfers, then I would say that's interesting. But if there isn't, it's just, then, it's less interesting to me, right?
But I think we should be cautious to keep our anticipated revenue going forward for this coming year. We can take a look at that going forward and do an analysis about how many rounds, et cetera. But I think to do it on the fly now is kind of risky.
Yeah, anything like this though, when we get to this point, it seems like it would be difficult to make the change now, given where your head's at and the work you've done. But I also don't think we should wait until next year when it's September, when this starts again.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I don't think you should wait till then, because you've already got the pressure on you to start figuring out capital and all these other rate changes and all that stuff. I think we should do it somewhat midsummer. If we're gonna do some analysis, it should be done early, and not that the midsummer is easy for you either, Roman, so
That's
I'm
good.
trying
Don't
to.
do
I want to do it in the spring.
No.
Yeah, so all
They
I'm
don't
saying
wanna
is
do it in the
that
spring.
if you wait too long, we'll have the same conversation
Yeah.
next year about
Sure.
how it's kinda too late to consider it.
And the one point I would make is that I think that, we are doing this every other year model, and this would be a year where we'd increase the cart
And you
rates
have
normally, and we didn't. I consider that a reduction to a degree. So this would be normally a year where we would increase, and my recommendation is choosing not to.
Has this issue been around for 3 years? The price of the cards?
I don't know what you mean by this issue.
But the question, the interest of the membership asking for it, has this been a regular thing or?
Not more than other things. I think that they're very price sensitive on the annual pass in general. I get a lot, but that's probably first priority is the annual pass in general. Second, yeah, carts and range. I get questions about every rate we have, and everybody, and
Yeah.
if you listen to people, they all think it's too expensive, and it's when you do the market analysis, we're actually very much on the low side.
Yeah, is this question come up just this year, or was it around last year, the year before?
Well, last year the rates went up, so I think that, and I assume it'll be another issue next year, if you follow your pattern. Next year will be the annual pass holder fee will stay the same, and the card fees will go up.
Now, next year, I think we would generally look at the greens fees, not
It's
cart
green fees next
Yeah,
year, yeah.
Next year should be flat again, because they bypassed an increase this year. And it should have happened this year if they stuck to their schedule, and he bypassed that, he did not increase, he chose not to increase
The green fees,
the car fees.
Cart fees.
right.
This would be a year we'd do the card fees.
This
Yes.
would be, in the every other year model, this would be a cart fee year.
So
Yeah.
next year will be
And so
flat.
next year,
That's
I mean,
what we
I
anticipate.
thought they went up last year.
I don't believe we did adjust cart fees last year, no.
I think so, because they went to 24 last year. It used to be $11 for a 9-hole, and then I think last year it went to 13. I'm not positive of that, but I'm pretty sure last year the card fees did go up.
I thought we did the carts in the year we did,
We normally do, I normally try
Pass
to do that,
holder.
where we do the carts on a year where we do, the annual pass as well, so.
I obviously I don't have the data, but
No, I don't have-
I thought this year the carts went up from 11 to 13 for 9 holes, because I remember people mentioning that, and then, but I don't have the data for that.
well, we appreciate your viewpoint, and
Yep, thank you.
we will continue to look at this going forward.
realize it's a challenging thing to suggest reductions, but I do think, you know, you discount the golf fee, the range fees. I think, you know, there may be some opportunities to, I mean, you're offering a 50% discount on range fees. I'm just suggesting there may be some opportunities, doesn't have to be 50%, but if you're discounting range fees, why not discount
Yeah.
card fees? You know, if you wanna
Okay.
buy a book of 10 or buy a book of 20 or something like that, there may be some opportunities in that area.
Well, as I say, I think we need to do a little analysis first. Okay. If,
Yep, thank you for your time.
you're welcome, Jack. Thank you for coming by. Well, at this time, we don't have anyone else who has indicated a desire to testify. So it would be in order to have a motion to conclude the public hearing portion and to proceed to our regular meeting discussion. So moved, seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. And the public hearing portion of our agenda is concluded. We will now go to the consent agenda. And the first order of business is approval of meeting minutes for October. If you've had an opportunity to review those, which I sent out to you late last week. If we do not have any adjustments, we would have a motion would be in order to approve the minutes for October 21st.
Just one question on
Yes.
the minutes. Is it unusual just to have one bid for the irrigation?
It's unusual. We had 3 companies express interest and only one actually met the deadline, so
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But we were happy with the bidder. The town select board did endorse it. They signed the contract with the company. So we're moving forward with National Sprinklers, I believe is the name of the company from New York. And I had in my my director's report, they're going to begin work first week of December.
So they will get off in the appropriate designated time.
Yes.
Yeah, cool,
Good.
good.
Yeah, it's too bad we didn't have others, but if they missed the
Yeah.
deadline, they missed the deadline.
Yeah, they came in under our appropriation for the funding for it, so they were an approved bidder.
They did not exceed our limit.
No,
Okay.
that was a town meeting appropriation and they came in under it.
Yeah. So we have a motion to approve the minutes. So moved, seconded.
Second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the minutes for October are approved and will be posted. We'll turn now to the director's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to keep this brief because a lot of our work has been in the rates and fee realm right now. But so I did want to update everyone, just as I mentioned, the irrigation upgrade work will begin the first week of December. And please keep your fingers crossed for a mild winter because we'd love to get that done and have minimal impact on the spring. We are going to go to temporary greens as usual on a Monday, December 8th is the day we're going to temporary greens for the year. We will be hydrojetting the greens and putting them to bed for the year, overseeding them. I'm sorry, top dressing them. Last day for carts will be the day before. That'll be Sunday, December 7th. And we put the carts away for the year as well. One thing I would like to mention is we've had a great staff all year. So the last day for carts also is the last day we have seasonal staff around until next March or so. So I wanted to express thank you to all of our staff. We have wonderful staff this year. And we get such great work out. We get such talented people. It's amazing. So I'm really happy to have the people that we have on board for seasonal staff. And I want to thank them for their hard work.
When can you welcome them back next year?
Well, it's really weather dependent.
Yeah.
As far as carts go, it will be December, but we'll start welcoming back some. If the golf course, we aim for St. Patrick's Day weekend to open the greens for the first time, and so if that is the case, we'll start welcoming back some pro shop staff at that point in time. But then around April 1st is when we'll start looking at putting carts on the golf course, and that's it. So then we'll start staffing our cart barn and our starter house as well.
Very
In
good.
around April 1st, first week of April. I did want to let you know, Sean and I presented the capital plan, our to capital outlay committee last Wednesday, and that went very well. You're aware of the projects on there. It's just the same two projects we've had on there: bunker renovation in FY29 and maintenance building replacement in FY30. And then one thing that's taking up a lot of my time is I'm sitting down with the town administrator on Friday to present our budget. So that's all I've got to report, but it's a lot of work in
Yeah.
all those.
Mhm.
I have two questions, Roman, if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
Sure.
Do you have an update? Did you extend Jake's? Did that go through?
Yes, it did. So the select board approved of the final year of their extension.
Were there any, I know you had said they might hire a special events person?
Yes, so I have a meeting with them to discuss next year's tournament schedule. They did hire a new person to run their events.
That's great.
But they didn't have that this year, right?
No, they do need it, and they'll probably support Jake Rooney's too, but who knows? I don't know what they'll do with the person, but
I
regardless,
haven't even met them yet, but it is a major upgrade. I think that we're gonna have
it
somebody
would be great to have
that's gonna
somebody focused.
negotiate the outings and then be there to actually execute them on the
Yeah.
day of play.
When you said that before, I thought that was perfect,
Yeah.
and if Jack were still here, I think he'd agree, because we're, commiserated on some of the things, but
I think, I'm hoping that one aspect is really something that's gonna help them out a lot and make our events better, and it may actually set them up for a really successful year, that I hope they reapply for the new lease.
yeah,
Like
the,
so.
I actually have two more things. So one other thing is, did we get approval for the the 18-hole 7 a.m. start?
Yes.
That's,
I mean,
that's officially
well, when you say
approved.
approval, that, I mean,
It's in the schedule.
It's there's no approval beyond, I presented at the public meeting, to no objection, so yes.
Yeah,
we're
okay, I
going forward
wasn't,
with that.
yeah, okay, so that went through, because I just wanted to give our league, because our league's starting at 7 the earliest, instead of going to the 6:30 tee times.
Yeah, so we're gonna start.
Yeah, I thought that had already been agreed to.
We're gonna start populating next year's tee sheets in December, and getting ready for next year, and that is part of it.
It was agreed to, I mean, Roman agreed to it, because it worked out perfectly, because there was
Yeah.
other changes that
It's a
needed.
balancing act,
It
yeah.
worked really well,
Yeah,
and so I think you just said to me, you just wanted to get past that.
I wanted to present it publicly
yeah.
and then see if there was
That's
any
all.
objection to it, but I really wanted to see if it worked, and when we laid out the templates, it worked.
Good.
Yeah, and I had a communication to send out, I didn't wanna do it until you got confirmation on that, so it was just a timing thing. And then the third thing, and I don't know if this is for this meeting, but this has come up, lately for people who have been running, non-league tournaments, a couple of people I've talked to, and in terms of the amount of people, I think you had said the fire department does the biggest tournament of 140 or something people, or whatever.
They've hit
it is.
140 before, yeah.
Yeah, and I know there was the Martha Duffy, they did 105 maybe, and it really maxed out the seating at the restaurant. So we've just been sort of brainstorming, because we turned people away, and we said we could bring more people onto that, because the tournament itself we moved really well, like you weren't held up in holes at all. But the seating, we maxed out. One group was actually on the grass outside of the place. And so the couple of things people brought up were, is there an opportunity somewhere out there to put like a tent and maybe add some temporary seating for bigger tournaments if we were to do that, and could Jake's handle it? But also, if we got a bad rain or something, putting people on the porch is hard, as maybe putting those things that roll down to just make it a little bit more comfortable if it were a rainy whatever, and you could still enjoy the meal.
Like a plastic drop or something?
Yeah, things like that. And I had never really thought about it before, but now with this tournament with the Martha Duffy, that there is an opportunity to go bigger. And it would certainly bring more revenue, I think, in for the restaurant and the course and whatever. But so I didn't, and you don't have to answer it now, but I think that's something that we may want to come back and ask you guys next year, or maybe Cheryl does, since she's running that tournament, about if we increase the number, how could we maybe accommodate a few more people from seating at the restaurant type thing. Cause I think, and I don't know how the fire department, they must not do
I
a
was
sit
gonna say,
down. like-
I negotiate a lot of these events with people, and because the firefighters want to get as many people in as they can
Yeah,
to increase their donations as much as they can, that's a crowd that really goes to the car and goes home. Not, even though they're
don't hang
buying
around.
lunch, they don't care.
yeah,
they're
that's what I
they're more
figured.
given to the cause, and
Yeah,
so yeah, we kind of let them reach that maximum
that makes
140.
sense, yeah.
I talked to Cheryl a lot about the event, and I thought that was a good number, and just like you're saying, I think it's a good number.
We all agreed it's a good number, it just was like, if we could go more, what would be the obstacles to that? And we just started throwing stuff against the wall, so that was the only thing, yeah.
Well, I could talk to you and brainstorm a little bit on other ways, because I know that one thing that we do is, I think it's worked well for Jake's, is have groups that eat while they're out there and do the box lunch. I've encouraged them to really put a lot of work into the box lunch. Maybe get as many groups as they can having the box lunch.
And that was something we also discussed, so we can take that
Okay.
offline, but I
Alright.
just wanted to, I was just thinking of that, while we were sitting here, 'cause it may be an opportunity somewhere
Could be.
along the way.
It could be the one thing I say that restaurant hardly ever reaches capacity. I know we're limited by what we can do there, but it's not something. It's not like they're always full. I mean, they're usually at half capacity at max, and on
No, it's with the
certain
big
event
turnouts.
days, certain
Yeah, I
event
agree.
days, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll
It's
look into
just-
it, see what the return on investment is
Yeah,
to invest
exactly.
in it for 2 days a year or 3 days a year. We'll see.
Fair. Thank you, Roman.
Well,
Well, maybe in your discussions with Jake going forward, you can,
one thing I am looking forward to, and maybe I'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit here, but the town administrator Tony Schiavi is he's a big fan of hiring an outside consultant to evaluate every building in town and have a maintenance plan that's staggered for every building in town. I love that idea because right now it seems like it's more of a triage situation where like if it's broken, it's causing a real problem. We're going to be there, and our crew is there when we need them, but not great at preventive stuff. And so, like I've been trying for 2 years to get a paint job on the front porch and
Yeah.
the railings, and so, but because it's not really, because nobody's actually stepped through a stair yet, it's kind of, it's a maybe. And so I am encouraged by that. There's a lot of talk about having an independent evaluator come through every town building and come up with a maintenance plan
Be
for every town
outstanding.
building.
And I agree, and the reason I agree is because when I was on the capital outlay committee, it was a triage,
Yeah.
or it was a piecemeal, like it was we need $2 million to upgrade X, and we lose a couple buildings in town, and then we'd say, is that all? Like, we have a capital plan that goes out as, in 5 years, that's the plan we have. I mean, you can share beyond that, what else you see in sight, and then we'd get that, no, that's all we got, and then you spend the 2 million, and then literally in that next cycle, they come back and say, I need another 2 million, and then it's not done there, and then I need another million, and so 2 buildings in town, we've had to spend a ton of money, and 204 is nowhere close to being done. So my point being is, I think there'd be a lot of people who were in support of seeing a more holistic plan for that building and another building that was the full plan. And those plans move, like capital plans shift and stuff happens, and
Right.
if something really breaks and you need to fix it today, well, then that's what happens.
Yeah.
But I like Tony's
I
idea.
do too.
So
I mean,
think that would
and no criticism
benefit.
at all to our facility maintenance crew. It's just basically a one man with 2 assistants, and that's it. And so their approach, I don't blame them a bit. They're always there when we need them.
Yeah.
But it's not great for getting
I-
stuff
forward-looking
like
is
the
always good.
front porch done.
So you don't have a budget specifically for maintenance?
A few years ago, our budget for our building maintenance was moved entirely over to facility maintenance department, which is run out of the town public works.
The open tickets, right?
And so we call in work orders to public works for that.
But and people do needle them, you
Yeah.
and Dick, about the railings and the steps.
Oh
and
gosh, yeah.
Would
I
be,
mean,
You
you,
do get,
you don't you haven't been obviously part of the urinal discussion. We've had a urinal
Oh,
down
geez.
for a couple of years, and I just got confirmation
No, I
that it
have
will
not.
be replaced the second week of December. But,
so we'll be able to flush with pride.
well,
oh, we
when
could,
you-
but you could go on
it'll be
forever.
brand new. It'll be brand new.
would
You'll save
the,
money.
would the tree stumps be a work order
I
example?
know that's in house, and that's gonna happen this off season. I believe.
Yeah, that's
You know, John, I haven't actually been out there, but I did go by my window the other day. I think they're working on them right now.
The train, the
Be nice to
trees
have
aren't too
them.
We
far.
share the grinder with the town,
Yeah,
right?
the
Yeah.
town owns a grinder, and we're one of the people that gets profuse. Have you seen the stumps gone?
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, right, so.
Oh,
Good.
that's great.
I was
I was
hoping
gonna
they'd be
say, I saw
gone
this-
before next year.
I saw the grinder going, well, that's all part
They
of our.
haven't filled them back in yet, but they're gone.
No, that's all part of our,
That's probably
It's
right.
spring
car
planters.
path,
Spring plan.
car path project we're doing there.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
And they've got some broken asphalt that needs to be picked
Yeah.
up too.
Yeah, so that's where we're gonna redo the car path there, we're gonna widen it, smooth it out on
Oh, this
13.
was redone, but they've
Yeah.
left the old stuff right on the side,
Well, I'm sure those things will give our
right above
crew
18.
a lot of work to do all off-season, they do a lot of cleanup in the off-season.
I hate to bring this topic up again, but I will. Divots are not being replaced and ball marks are not being fixed on the course. They're just, it hasn't improved, in my opinion, so I don't know if, more can be done to remind people that.
Yeah, you sure
gotta-
can. If we,
fix these
if we
things.
put in next year, next spring, if we put that into the narrative our starters go over with the golfers, we definitely focus on that.
Is there such a thing as, giving walkers a small something to hook to their
Yes.
thing?
Yeah.
We don't have those though, right? Like, to me that, because I've been out with,
Oh, we have them, but, yeah, we don't necessarily have the hooks, the
Yeah.
ones with hook on.
but I mean, I think.
They can take the shakers.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, like I said, I had to ride all summer, so it was I do it because I have it right there with me. And I've played with people that said if I had something, I'd do it.
Right.
And, you take a divot, it's not always clean, I mean, people try, but it's, it's kinda,
I-
you're
I-
missing parts of it, there's not always,
Right.
and some people don't try at all, so.
No, some people, and I'm honest, I'll take a divot, I'll put mine back, and I'll probably put 2 or 3 others back.
Yeah, and I'll fix
Same
holes on
thing
the
on the
green,
golf course,
some
on
people
the
who do it,
greens.
do it.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
I'll
I-
stand there, I go, fix my mark, now I gotta
Yeah.
fix like 4 others.
I'd say, so I look at it, we do 44,000 rounds, I'd say there's a percent of people that just don't do it.
They just
and-
don't. They
And
just
then
don't.
because we do so many rounds, we have more people that are not
Yeah.
fixing ball marks than most courses are. Most,
I mean, the other thing just while we're talking about it, cause I think we could do better, like, the past holders I think would do better if we had, like, on the women's tee box, just like with the men's, like, if you had something there to fill something, you would use it, but
Mhm.
if it's back on the white tees, you're like, screw that, like, they can put it here if they want us to do it, like, not to be rude, but it's just one of those things, you don't wanna be chasing back, you just,
Yeah.
if you make it easier for people, I think more people would do it, not everybody, cause you're still gonna have a ton of people that don't.
no, good ideas. Definitely. We go into next year with a focus on.
But even on the cart, I know plenty of people who would carry some of that on the cart,
Okay.
if we could figure out how to do it and it's not too bulky or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, so we keep a tray of divot bottles on the 10th tee.
10,
We can always do that on one, it's for people to replace what they've already, if they have an empty one, to replace it.
yeah,
So we can do that on the first hole, and maybe minimal expense, purchase some for walkers, and yeah, so we're looking
I don't know,
at.
something
Would they have to be
look into.
smaller for the walkers, or?
Well, as Karen first mentioned, a lot of times they will have a hook or something, so
Yeah.
some way to make it easy, so you don't have to like unzip your bag and put it in your bag. But if
Right.
if it fits into a beverage holder or something like
Yeah, it'll help some,
But
like,
the ones we
if you can fill
currently-
it in the hat around the turn, then,
that. We don't currently purchase some divot mixed bottles. They come on the cart we rent, so we have I think we have a certain supply of inventory beyond that. What would come on the carts?
Yeah.
But basically, what we get is the 2 per cart that came with the carts.
yeah, whatever, I mean, things like that,
Yeah,
little
that made it
things.
easier. Well, we
All right,
can-
well, we can definitely go
make that
into
a
next
focus
year
next
with
year.
a focus on
Broken
divots
tees is
and
still-
divots
if you
ball
have the
marks.
little boxes for
The
broken
divot
tees.
busters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, there was a couple of times this year I said, if we could just get like 20 people to walk like a hole, we could probably fill everything in no time.
No.
Whatever, no, I'm not suggesting you do that, I'm just saying, like, at times you go, oh, God, it's a mess, but, yeah,
Yeah,
I get it. I
Again,
get it.
44,000 rounds, a lot of people to go
it's an
through.
awful
Oh,
lot,
there
and it's a
is,
public
there
course,
is.
and I
And the
get
fact
it.
that we stack, one of the things that hurts me is we stack up the back nine so we can maximize the golf course in the morning. And that doesn't allow for a whole lot of maintenance time out there. We fill the golf course very early in the morning.
And that's a nice you know, to do 9 is good for people.
Mhm.
Like, there's plenty of people who like 9,
Oh,
and that's a
Jay
good
right
option.
here, you got one right here, he's a back niner.
All the time.
It's great,
I
yeah.
played the front though this week.
Did you?
Sunday.
The last time
How'd you do?
I did good. Well, it was windy too.
Beats the alternative work.
Absolutely, I say it all the time when I'm hacking it.
That's all I can do.
Roman, thank you for your report.
Yeah, thanks,
I
Roman.
think you're welcome.
I think we need now to turn to what was the subject of our discussion earlier, and I think it's important for us to demonstrate our sensitivity to the town's revenue issues by moving forward, and, you know, I think it would be appropriate for us to support the Director of Golf's recommendation, which he gave serious thought to, and, you know, I appreciate the fact that we did not go up on the carts this year. I think that's helpful.
That to me means it's been 3 years,
Yeah,
if
It
I do
will
the
be.
math right.
it will be.
Well,
If we don't-
one,
if we don't
this
next
is
year,
2,
yeah.
next year's to be 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so I wondered how long this issue had been, you know, out in front, and it seems like it's escalated a little bit more this year than the last 2 years when the rates were the same.
It came together, Jack got feedback from his league, and then he reached out to us, and we're always getting you're always getting that feedback. Has it formally been presented to Roman? No, I don't think so before now.
Jack sent me a formal,
No, this year, yeah, we did, and he did that, and we were on board with that, our league, because we have, again, in our league is decreasing in membership because many people are older. Like, there's a huge group of people who have been playing in those leagues for 20-plus years. It's unbelievable. It really blows my mind, to be honest with you. So the membership we're trying to figure out ways to get a few more members because it has diminished, but it's simply age. So they age out, and some people will go to the 9-holers, and if they're on the 9-holers and they age out, some of them will walk, but a lot of them ride in the 9-holers. And then, you know, then they obviously can't play, but I think it's a reality. But, you know, if you look at just generationally, people are getting older, the group is getting older, but you know, I get that you're trying to do the best you can. It's just, you know, there's only so much you can do and to also maintain the
Yeah.
revenue back to the town,
well,
so.
the thought I have, because I mean, I'd hate to have go to the select board with a plan to reduce any rates, because everything's so expensive these days. And like you said, Paul, they're very sensitive to revenue.
Yeah.
But when we, one thing I could consider doing, because we're not going up this year, then in 2 years, when we do consider going up, maybe we go up the entire amount we want to make on the public play, and don't go up again on
That's a good
the, and so
option.
we create a little bit of distance there. So this is what we've done with the, we've done that with the resident and non-resident in the past,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
we've gone up 7 years in a row now, $100 on the non-residents, because
Right.
we had to make an adjustment there. So we could make an adjustment maybe by increasing, by
Non-pass holder,
non-pass holder increase,
card fee.
and keeping pass holders where they are.
I think that'd be
That could be a way of
appreciated.
responding.
I think there are lots of options, and I think I like that one a lot, being a Harwich pass holder, but it's I was gonna say, the other thing is if you have the opportunity to negotiate the ride share, or however you call that, whatever that share is, like at some
Revenue
point,
sharing.
revenue share with the carts, you know, I don't know and I don't know that business, so I don't know if over time they expect to get more of a cut or the same or whatever, but if you have to renew that contract, it might be worth trying to, you know, save a few bucks there and maybe pass a little bit of that on, I don't know, whatever. But you know what, you know it way better than me, so.
Well, no, I think what's happening right now, in general, very general terms of the revenue share, in the extra years and the additional years, that's where the town makes a little bit of revenue. 'Cause it's not a lot of, so the revenue we made on golf carts this year is almost exactly the same as we made in 2016 or 2015, I think, because we're paying so much for the revenue share. So when when the carts are in good shape and you can extend a few years, that's where you really make a little bit of money. And so, that revenue stream is not going up barely at all, except in like when we do get those extension years in the lease where we can negotiate better terms. I know
Yeah,
we're,
that's what I meant, if you negotiate better terms, you can make better revenue out. If
Yeah.
you don't renegotiate, it's still 60/40, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what I'm pursuing right now is the first year of the extension to be 60/40, because it gets a little bit confusing, but the first year of the lease, they gave us a temporary fleet, so these carts are still under warranty one more year, So the first year of extension will actually be the 5th year of the carts. And so the company wanted to keep that revenue share the same, 60/40. And then the second extension year, where we are now, is maybe 5% more to the town's favor, 65/35. And then the third year would be even 5% better even.
Oh, that's
But what I'm
good.
hoping to do is, at that point, the carts would not be under warranty any
Sure,
longer.
yeah, you'll have
And,
to
and so what I'm
spend some
looking to do
money
is,
there.
I'm looking to trade them in at that point, before we actually get to that third year, and get a new fleet, which will, well, it's gonna be expensive.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's just not a lot of money there.
No, I get you, I
Yeah.
get it.
And this is not something
I
you-
get it, it's not easy, and you've gotta do what you gotta do, it's your job to maintain
Is
all
there
of it.
anybody like the USGA or another outfit that has grants available for a application to keep seniors playing longer into their
Never heard of
life?
that, but-
I'm making it up as I go, but that's what I do, so.
It's pretty creative.
It's just,
It might
it's a
be.
question,
It's
is there a grant available
I-
for that type of
So,
thing?
so many grants, so much focus on youth golf and getting people into the game,
Yeah.
but I don't know, I mean, I can look into that, we'll see.
I'll have to send an email to my USGA guy, ask him if there's anything there. I don't know.
That's worth a question.
Yeah, I join that every year. It's not a particularly expensive annual fee to get membership, so I don't really know what kind of
But they're-
benefits you could.
What were you
But to
saying,
Roman's
do
point,
they
they're
offer
always-
grants like
But
the?
they're always pushing for the younger, sorry, I didn't
No,
mean
you
to
can-
talk to you, but they're always pushing for the younger generation to get into golf, and that makes perfect sense, we do it here. But at the same time, wait a minute, we've got all these players that have been playing, and it is something that is probably keeping them healthy, keeping them living
Yeah, that's
longer.
true.
There's a number of factors there, I'm sure, that come into play if you were to talk to their physician or whatever, that could easily be.
If you just look at
Mhm.
the number,
Subject
the
to a
growth in
grant.
the number of seniors over the
Right.
next 10 years.
Exactly.
I mean, there's plenty of those charts and it could just goes up.
If there's not a grant, there should be one. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think
Somebody call Elon.
the one thing
Oh my
that,
God.
the municipal golf on Cape Cod is very competitive, and, but if you compare nationally, what a deal. I mean, that's one thing, people that have come to the Cape for the first time, and then they see you get an annual pass for $900 or $1,000.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
And you're playing,
you
I
go,
mean, we have people playing 100 rounds, 120 rounds, 80 rounds, whatever. I think I did a presentation earlier this year about the value that they're getting. I think our average annual pass holder plays over 30 rounds, whereas a large portion of them play over 60 for 900 and whatever
Yeah, no,
bucks. So
it's-
it's like, it's
Yeah.
probably, it compares very well nationally. I don't,
Hmm.
it's,
Completely agree.
Yeah.
There's
yeah, I
no-
don't think
no
anybody would
question.
argue that.
And you're absolutely right. People are in shock when they hear, what, you pay what?
then what do I pay for green seed? That's what we always get with new people. Okay, I pay that, and then what do I pay each time I play? For green seed. Nothing. That covers your green seeds. They're shocked. They don't believe it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's a bargain.
Yeah, I know
Fair,
people
very fair.
who barrier to entry talk about that $100,000 upfront fee and $40,000 every year.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, of course, but still, that's,
Well, it's huge money,
Huge
it's
money.
sick, yeah.
Well, we don't have to worry about that. Well, what's your pleasure? I mean, I think we should support our
yeah, no,
director's.
I'm in a.
idea.
I'm on
Yeah,
record.
it's,
Yeah, I definitely
I agree with that
works
for
with
sure.
them.
Okay, so we have a motion to
Motion to accept the
accept the
recommended
recommendations and
2026
move
rates.
forward to the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah.
Seconded? Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We support moving forward with the recommendations.
Great. As I mentioned, I have a meeting with town administrator on Friday. I'll mention to him that the police schedule is with the select board.
Yep.
And
Excellent.
I'll keep the golf committee through you, Paul, abreast how that goes, what the date is, and how the
Okay.
meeting goes.
All right, wonderful. All right, we have a motion to adjourn. We are done with our business for today. So
Motion.
moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. I will keep you informed. We are not scheduled to meet again till after the first of the year. So you have the holidays to yourself. Usually,
What month would that be? Well, just,
possibly March or April. What do you think, Roman?
You know, I
March.
April better than
I
March?
think April's better because we'll have some stuff to report.
All right.
In
Okay.
March, I don't have a whole lot to
You
report.
you don't have anything,
All
right,
right.
because you're not really open, I get it,
No.
yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking of being prepared for your meeting, but what,
No, an April meeting I can
Yeah,
announce the
there's nothing to really talk
openings
about, I
and
guess.
such.
except signage for the divots, when
Well, we can definitely make the
Not kidding.
2026 a year
Yeah.
of the divots.
I'm gonna make T-shirts and just start wearing them.
It is, it
Fix
is,
you, haven't you?
Picture.
Stop record.
Yeah.
it is embarrassing to look at the course sometimes